Hi, this is Pokeirv. We're back to Pokeirv Plays, the Pokemon trading card game. We're here in the online, and what I wanted to do was I wanted to show you. Some people had asked me about the deck that I used at the Michigan States to win the Masters Division this year, 2014. So I wanted to, now that it's kind of out of fashion with the new Flash Fire cards coming in, I figured I'd go ahead and show it to you and give everybody an idea what I had here. So basically, it was a Darkrai Vettel deck. So I'll walk you through the cards. The Pokemon we had was Buffalant, two Darkrai EX, a Keldeo EX, Sableye, three Sableyes, two Yveltal EX, or actually three Yveltal EX, and a regular Yveltal. The idea behind this was that you've got Sableye to start with, so that you can use your trainers, load up an Yveltal EX. If you need to, you can always use the regular Yveltal with his attack for Oblivion Wing to get energies attached. And then if you get paralyzed or for some reason your opponent you get stuck, you always have the Keldeo to be able to rush in, and everybody has free retreat because Darkrai has the Dark Cloak ability that allows any of your Pokemon that has a dark energy attached to it to retreat. Might be saying, so those make sense. The Darkrai for the retreat ability, the able to Night Spear and then hit the bench. Keldeo for being able to rush in and get your guy out of there. Sableye has junk hunt ability, so you can reuse your trainer cards, which was actually very powerful for me because against one of my opponents, I was able to junk hunt multiple times for my Pokemon catchers and just trying to keep catcher up their guys. And of course, now that you have to flip for the catcher, it makes it quite difficult. So I ended up playing catcher 6 times, and they knocked out two Sableyes, but I finally got the catcher and was able to get their guy up there and knock him out for the two prizes and for the win. So it's quite valuable to have a Sableye. The Yveltals, can't beat those. And then having the regular Yveltal, for its Oblivion Wing, being able to energy accelerate. So the idea is to accelerate as much as you can. So let's take a look at the trainers. I play Escape Rope. Escape Rope for me is just, you have to have it. I mean, you have to be able to have some way to switch your guys just in case you don't have the Keldeo or they're blocking the abilities with Garbodor. So this way I can get my guy out of there. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, why would you have a switch or an escape rope, something like that? Well, you know what? It's just when you get the Dark Cloak, something else to help you be able to move your Pokemon. Quite valuable. Next thing I have, Random Receiver. You always need to be able to try to get a supporter, and this way I can have the random receiver try to get another supporter, or try to get a supporter out. It's like playing another supporter in your deck. Dark Patch, no explanation here. Energy acceleration. Get those energies discarded and be able to attach those puppies. Load up a Darkrai, load up the Yveltal or Evital as people say, and be able to go. So I have Enhanced Hammer instead of a regular Crushing Hammer. I chose Enhanced Hammer because when the tournament was going on, a lot of people were playing Plasma, so they had the Plasma energies, or they had Rainbow energies, or they had Prism energies. And a lot of times, being able to have the Sableye with the Junk Gun, I'm able to bring that hammer back over and over and keep hammering and not giving them any way to start accelerating, attaching energies. But you have to be careful too, is that when they're also playing um, a deck that allows them to attach special energy to one of their bench plasma Pokemon, then you need to be a little careful with that, with using the hammer, because you don't want to help them anymore. But being able to take that energy and keep going like that is a big help. Energy switch, a staple in a deck like this. Once I dark patch that energy, I can energy switch. I have an Yveltal going turn 2, attacking, or if I go second, I can have an Yveltal attacking right away because I can dark patch and do the energy switch. So invaluable. That is one of the cards that won me the tournament. Where the week before or the 2 weeks before at Wisconsin States, if I'd have had energy switch in here, I think that was a tournament that I had a really good chance of doing very well with. Because a lot of times I felt where, I have the energy, but I can't switch it. Tool Scrapper. Tool Scrapper is, basically for the Garbodors or for any other deck. A lot of them now with the muscle belts, you need a way to get rid of that. But primarily, it's for the Garbodors, so that way, if I needed to use a Keldeo or that, you know, I have the Tool Scrapper, so that I get the tool off the Garbodor. So Garbodor's ability to block your abilities doesn't take effect. Another good thing, I only have one because I always have the ability to junk on if I need to. Three catchers, like I said, very flippy. It took me six catchers to win a game, but in another one I did that multiple times also, and I was able to get the heads earlier. But even with the flip, still an invaluable card. Bicycle. Can't live without Bicycle. Always want that ability, to be able to draw a few extra cards without using a supporter. It For me, you can't beat having Bicycle. Laser. Part of this is when you're using Darkrai on that, you're only doing 90, or if I have a belt on it, I'm doing 110. Hypnotoxic Laser gives me that extra 30, so that I can, knock them out and get a little more damage. So that with the belt, and my with the stadium out there, I'm doing a Burbank City Stadium. I'm doing 140. Can't beat it. Ultra Ball. Gotta have it in your deck. Also helps me discard my Dark Energy so I can Dark Patch them. With this deck, because I have Sableye with his Junk Hunt ability, I use a computer search. Computer search, allows me to get whatever I need whenever I need it. Heck, a lot of times I've used computer search to get myself a Dark Energy out of the deck when I've needed it. So, um, it's my choice. Dowsing Machine would be another choice, but since I have the junk hunt ability with Sableye, I have no problem with the computer search. So let's get to draw cards, supporters, four Junipers, four Ns. Can't beat them. I mean, for me, those are staples. Maybe sometimes I'll go four Juniper, three Ns, or 3-4 if I want to try to fit something else out, but those are staples. Shauna. So, Shauna only lets you draw five cards, but the beauty of Shauna is I'm not going to let you shuffle a hand, and I'm going to be able to keep the cards in my hand. So, that's one of the reasons I have a Shauna in there. And actually, that was quite effective a few times where I had something in my hand I wanted to keep, and I really didn't want to discard it with a Juniper, so I was able to Shauna the Juniper and the other cards back in. Skyla. Skyla's wonderful. Skyla lets me get, one of my other trainers so I can get the Burbank City Gym, I can get the laser, I can get the catcher, I can get whatever I need from my deck at that point to use. So it gives me choices. Colress, with all the plasma decks and even with myself with a loaded bench, having at least one Colress was not a bad deal. Maybe I could have gone with two Colresses without the Shauna, but a lot of times too, I didn't have enough Pokemon on the bench, so I like to have the Shauna, but I like to have the Colress too, so I can try to draw. I've got lasers, got to have Burbank City Gym, and I also had to have a stadium for the people who were having the Tropical Beach. Although I do love you guys who use Tropical Beach because a lot of times it helps me draw cards when I have nothing in my hand. So I do appreciate people playing the Tropical Beaches for me. But I want my gym in there so the laser does an extra 3 damage to you guys. Muscle Band. So Dark Claw we had before. Now we have Muscle Band. That's a beautiful thing. I can Muscle Band to any of my Pokemon that I want to attack with, and works wonderful, doing that extra 20 damage. So I was even able to Muscle Band I was able to attach to my Keldeo and Muscle Band him and use him to knock out a Blastoise. So, can't beat that, right? Excuse me. So the next one, Double Colors Energies. These are to help me with the Boufflant if I want to, and for the Evital to give me a way to put basically a bonus energy on when I attach. I just decided, as practicing, that was something I wanted. So, and then of course we have the Dark Energies. So we have 9. So usually 10 to 11 Dark Energies, but since I have the 2 double colorless, I went with 9 Dark Energies. And that could explain why at times I do run short of the energy, and then I end up using my computer search to get the energy. So that's my deck. That's what I played at the Michigan States. So what I'll do now is we'll go ahead and we'll get out of here, and I will go ahead and play a game with it online. So let's go ahead and we'll do play now. Okay, Uni- Unicolian? Unicolian? Not sure. He flipped and he chose heads. It was tails. So who's going to go first? I will go first. You always want to go first. I've yet to find a situation where you don't want to go first. All right, so he's got fairy, super potion. So he's playing some kind of fairy deck. And of course, unlucky for us, we're starting with the Keldeo. Could be worse, but it's hopefully we can get a dark energy and get a darker out there and be able to retreat him and then use him, which will help because we'll already have the dark energy. So my opponent had no basic, so I will get my mulligan draw. So that worked. That's interesting there. All right. Well, this is tough. So I've already got into a conundrum where I've got junipers. I've got no other supporter. What do I want to do? Do I want to give everything up? So let's go ahead and do this. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and laser his guy. Why not? Let's start getting damage. So he's poisoned but not asleep. Then I'm going to go ahead and play. Let's see. I'm going to play the Ultra Ball. I'm going to use a Dark Patch. And I'm going to use a Juniper. So I'm going to save a Colress and Juniper. So what do we have? We get the Evital, 2 TXs, Darkrai. So we pretty much all our Pokemon are here. None of them are prized. So that's good news. So we got everything to play with. So I want to, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get the Darkrai because I want to be able to try to retreat that Keldeo out of there. So I'm going to get him. I'm going to go ahead and place him on the bench. Then I'm going to use the random receiver and see if I can get an N or someone so I don't have to get rid of these guys. So what did I get? I did get an N. Excellent. So we are going to go ahead and play N. It's the beginning of the game. I don't really care what I did with their hand. Doesn't matter to me at this point. I just want to, get some cards to play. All right. Ooh, we even got a Verbank, so we're going to put that out there. So we're going to have 30 damage without doing anything. All right, let's put the Muscle Band on my friend Darkrai so he can attack because, as you know, the fairies are dark resistant, so it's going to be important to get that extra 20. Let's put that on Keldeo. I'm not going to retreat him quite yet because I want to. Maybe I'll have the opportunity to do something with the Dark Patch to Darkrai, get him loaded, energy switch. So at this point, I'm just going to end my turn. Alright, so we have 30 on Spritzy. He puts out Fairy Garden so that any Pokemon has a fairy attached to it as free retreat. He's got Xerneas EX. He went and took back his attach to Spritzy and attached it to Xerneas. One of the things I don't like about the online is that people can take back moves like attaching energies without asking for help. Asking your permission. I think that's something they need to do is have it ask your permission. So just me. So alright, so what do we got here? Alright, so we got Evital, as I keep calling it. Alright, so we've got a laser. So he's already been attached, so ooh, should we go after Mew? Wouldn't that be sweet? But you know what? We better take care of this guy here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach him to Evital, and I'm going to maybe hope that I can retreat, do some kind of energy switch or something. Give a attach to him. Do I want to try to catch up Mew or someone though and go for the big kill? No. If I get rid of him, then they're not going to be able to do the fairy switching. So let's go ahead and let's try to put him to sleep for fun because we're going to discard it anyway. That didn't work. And let's Juniper. See what we get here. Okay. Well, we didn't get the extra energy, but we did. We got an escape rope. We don't really want to use at this point. We got more lasers. There's no need for that. So at this point, let's go ahead and end our turn. And he's knocked out. And we got an Ultra Ball. All right. Attach another energy to Zerny CX, and they get Skyla for Town Map. Town Map is one of those cards I don't know if I like it. You know, it shows your opponent what you have. Shows your opponent what you have in your prizes and lets them know if you're not there. So it looks like, what do we have? A Dust Skull. So that means they got a Dust Skull where they're going to be able to move damage on my side. They've got Energy Retrieval, Candy, Aromatisse. Alright, so they got a few things in there. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this. So let's see. So let's go ahead and laser Zerny CX. Excellent. Let's go ahead and attach to Evital. Let's do Ultra Ball, and we'll get rid of the enhanced hammer because with the fairy I don't think they're playing anything extra, any of the prisms or special cards. Let's get rid of an energy. Alright, so at this point I'm going to pull a Sableye in because I like to have a Sableye, so that way if I need to I can move him up with an energy and be able to junk hunt back for cards. Alright, I don't want to play Escape Rope because I just knocked him out. I'm going to go ahead and get Skyla. So I'm going to Skyla for the Verbank, because I don't want them to be able to retreat that guy out of there. So we'll play Verbank. I'm going to go ahead and retreat for the Evital, and I'm going to attack. So we did 100, and then he does wake up, but he's not going to be able to retreat. They're going to end me. Cool. I was hoping they would, so I wouldn't have to worry about a supporter. We did 30 to them. Did 60 to me. That's a shame. How mean of him. Alright, so you know what I'm going to try to do here at this point? This is a good situation where I can bring up the Mewtwo, or Mew EX, I'm sorry, bring up the Mew EX, try to do some damage to him. How many lasers have I used? 1, 2, 3. I've used 3 of my lasers. Alright, so let's do this. Let's Dark Patch to him. So we'll do 110, but we had to get a laser. So he's going to go away with poison. So maybe at this point, you know what? This might be a good chance to junk hunt. So I should have put the energy on Sableye. Oops. My mistake. Not thinking ahead. So I'm going to go ahead and use my energy switch. Move that to Sableye. But I'm not going to move anybody at this point. I'm not going to do anything. So I'm just going to... actually, you know what? I'm going to retreat. Move up Sableye. And I'm not going to Juniper or this, because you know what? I like having that catcher. So that way I can bring up who I want. Well, though, maybe I should go ahead and use Colress to get 5. You know what? I'm going to do Colress to get 5. I don't want to toss any of that away. Okay. Well, that's not too bad. I got a double. So, why don't we put that double on Yveltal? We can put another Sableye up there. And then we can bicycle for 2. You always got to balance what you're doing. Alright. So let's do this. So I'm going to attack. I'm going to junk hunt, because he's going to get knocked out anyway. I'm going to bring back my energy switch. And I'm going to bring back one of those lasers. Just so, in case, if I do end, I'll put him all away. His guy gets knocked out with poison between turns. There we go. So he played Colress, Energy Retrieval, back two fairies, and then he's going to use my Confuse Ray because of Mew EX is versatile, which lets him use any of the attacks of the Pokemon in play. Alright, so let's see, what does our friend Evital do? He does 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, more than enough to knock out Mew. So at this point, there's nothing I really need to do. I don't want to start tossing Pokemon away. So I'm going to go ahead and retreat for Evital. I'm going to go ahead and attach an energy and get him on Darkrai so we can start building him up. And I'm going to leave everything as it is. And then I'm going to, let's see, so make sure 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140. So let's attack Mew with Evil Ball. Goodbye, Mew. Mew EX is one of those where it can be a valuable Pokemon to use because of versatile, letting you use the attacks, but it only has 120 HP, and as you can see, that was pretty easy to take out with that. Alright, so we got Swirlix up there. Does my opponent have a way to get a basic? Do they have another basic? They don't. That's game. They did tackle to me. Some people will go and start to do stuff. You know what? I attack. I end the game. This guy's played very nicely. He could have just given up. He's tried his best. And good game, Unicorn. And my last was the Tool Scrapper. Luckily, I didn't need that. So, alright. Well, that's it. So, hope you enjoyed this explanation of my deck that I won the state championship with and, how it worked. And you get to see a win. So, let's look at the stats real quick. Trainers played. One of the things I always look at 17 to 10. So, I played a lot more trainers. Cards drawn, pretty even. Heads flipped. Tails flipped, not a big difference. I was 50-50 on everything. So pretty much, pretty straightforward. Pretty easy victory against this fairy deck that he had. So, alright. So, this is Pokeirv. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will talk to you later.